So Apptio creates SaaS software, and what we do is we help companies make smart decisions as they plan and analyze their IT investments. I've been here about a year and a half. I am the manager of creative design, so I'm in charge of the entire creative team, and we handle all the marketing and branding, live events. We collaborate with the web team. We create all the content, and that includes printed content, web content, and video, which is a huge part of what we do. So even before the pandemic changed everything, video was becoming more and more important to us as an organization. And the pandemic really, it only accelerated that. As we started doing fewer in-person events and started doing more virtual events, there really was a need to edit these videos, take these recordings of these virtual events, take the recordings of the webinars and edit them down and turn them into, social posts, turn them into content that we could post on our website that we could share with people in a virtual way. So, we started getting more and more project requests to edit videos, to cut, the first 2 minutes off of a webinar, to cut out some dead space in the middle of a webinar. And the challenge was, we're a small team. So my video person, all his time was being taken up just editing webinars, just, cutting little snippets out of it for social, editing out the dead space, editing out the portions that they didn't want. And he wasn't able to focus at all on any of the larger creative projects. So we really needed to find a solution that would help us, sort of empower some of the webinar teams to do some of that simple editing on their own. So I had a colleague on our European webinar team who had been exposed to Pictory, and she brought it to me and she said, I think this could be a solution to, kind of our resource problem. And so I took a look at it, and I really liked what the organization, what Pictory was as a product. I really liked how they approached editing video, right? With Pictory, someone on the webinar team can upload a video, and instead of them having to understand, timestamps or having to understand a timeline and finding that portion of the video that they want to use for a social post or to post online on their website, they are able to get a transcription of the webinar, and then they just highlight the portions that they want for social. They highlight the portions that they want to turn into a video for the website, and Pictory generates those videos, right? So the way it works is much more intuitive for someone who's not trained as a videographer. And I really liked that approach. So we decided to do a test run with Pictory, and it went really well. Everyone on the team was really positive about it. Everyone on the team really loved how it worked. And so we decided to sign up, and it's been a huge time saver for us on the creative team, right? We used to get 3 to 4 requests every week to cut webinars down, to create social posts out of webinars, to cut dead space out of webinars. And now all of that's being handled just by the webinar teams themselves. And that frees up my videographer's time to focus on animation, to focus on, a lot of the larger projects that we have on the team. Pictory as a tool, because it's so intuitive, we've actually started to test using it on some of our other videos as well, right? So we might have an interview with our CMO and a customer, or with one of our field marketing folks and a customer. And in the past, we would take that raw footage, and someone on the marketing team would, go through it, and they would highlight the portions based on timestamps. They would highlight the portions that they want to keep and highlight the portions that they want to cut out. Then they would send that over, and the videographer would take a first pass at it. And then sort of after we edited it down, then we would talk about what are the graphics we want to add, what are the extra, bits and pieces that we want to add to it. But with Pictory, there's potential for us to just use Pictory straight away and get that initial cut just using Pictory. So we're empowering someone on the marketing team to make those initial cuts on their own. They're able to make those initial edits, and then the video that they hand off to the videographer has already gone through a first pass, and he's able to then take that and add in graphics, add in extra music, all the other things that they want. So yeah, not only has Pictory saved my team a lot of time, but on the webinar side, right? Before Pictory, the webinar team would have to go through the video, select the pieces that they wanted. They would have to watch the video, scan for dead space, scan for any breaks in the conversation, scan for parts of the conversation that they didn't want to include in the final cut. And they would have to note the timestamps for all that stuff. And then they would have to take that document with the edits, with the timestamps, send it over to the videographer on my team. He would make those edits, send it back to them to proof, and then, there would be back and forth there until we got it exactly right. But with Pictory now, that initial scan, that initial watch of the footage where they're going in and making those edits, they're accomplishing that right in the first draft, right? Like, they no longer have to note timestamps. They no longer have to decide, I want to keep this or I don't. They just highlight the portions that they want, and Pictory generates that video. So, right, not only has it saved my team a lot of time and effort, but it saved the webinar team a lot of time as well. It's just a much more efficient way to handle video edits, to generate those social snippets. Pictory has been a really great tool for Apptio, and we're excited to keep using it, and we're excited to expand our use of it, right? To try it out with new things, to try it out with new applications, and just, I think sky's the limit.